Alrighty, hello everyone. Damn, the fucking music. I forgot to put that on. That's a great way to start an episode. There we go. All right. So originally on this episode, let me turn that down a bit. My buddy Tyler was supposed to join me, and this was supposed to be his trial as co-host. So we'll see how that goes here into the future, but maybe he'll pop in halfway through here. Maybe he won't at all. We'll see. Um, anyway, so for this episode, I do still have some topics lined up, and if I have to write it solo, I'll write it solo. Josh from Swamp Creatures said he might come and help bail me out here, so we'll see how this all ends up running. But anyway, on this note, yeah, so this is episode 3 of Culture and Decay, where we basically always sorry, just heard the dogs downstairs. But basically, this is just a place where we talk about the state of culture going forward, and just we live in a weird world right now, so it's just kind of an analysis of culture. And this being the Christmas season, I thought this would probably be a good time to analyze some Christmas stories per se. Um, so with that, I over the past week I listened to the book A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, read by Tim Curry, and there's so much with that story that I feel like has been lost on the modern day. Like I feel like there's a lot of people who you always hear the crap about. How could I put this? Oh, Scrooge wasn't that bad. It was just like, and it's just it feels like almost like the meaning of the story and the cultural significance of it has just been lost on so many people. And I think that's partially a symptom of just any sort of cultural significance that we had here in the United States just kind of melting away into this who even knows what. Like we see that with like all the like there's this image out there online of basically like kids drawing like what the US culture is, and all you have is like the LGBT flag and a bunch of corporate logos. And it's like that's all we got. But like, I know between Dickens and just all these other great there's anyway, going into the story itself, what I thought was amazing was it's a story about someone who let me just mute this, who has kind of lost their love for life, and has been just beaten down and made cynical by the world, through his experiences and the personal hells that he goes through. And with that, it's through being confronted with the ghosts of the past and what is essentially the paranormal, because there's some pretty fucking dark shit that happens in that story. If you've never actually checked out the story, there's all these different retellings out there, but there's always like when it comes to the original, that's just one that it's a lot more dark. No other way to put it. You actually see the souls of the not you don't see them, but you read about the souls of the damned being chained together, all over hovering over the city. Like there's a lot of things that you wouldn't be familiar with, but through going through hell and coming, that classic story of the main character going through hell and coming out the other side. He finds a purpose to live in what is essentially just a dark point. Um, this is it really is just a funny just a funny story. Seeing if we can get at least someone on here to help us out. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, my guest is not here this week, so I'm just running it solo, talking about some cultural things. So, I suppose I might as well just get in to some of the other things I have booked up for future episodes, because some of the other stuff I had specifically geared towards the guest this week, and if he's not going to be here, I'll just move on towards some of that stuff. But with the year coming to an end, it seems like there's a lot of cultural, like there's a lot to look back on, what happened this year and what's going on, what we can expect almost going on into the next. And come New Year, I'm planning on having a guest on who will have a really long, deep discussion on many of these things. But we might as well just kind of get some of this stuff rolling now, because it seems like there's that classic idea that there's like something like 7 stories that are always retold throughout cultures, throughout civilizations, throughout time, whether it be in our stories now or in the myths of old. And a lot of the stuff we see now almost has like contempt for those kind of core stories, those core elements. And with that, you see just a lot of it, just a lot of trash, because none of it connects with anyone. Because the reason those 7 stories, we see them kind of retold throughout time and time again is because there's something human that connects to people. The problem with a lot of the stories that we've been seeing the last several years, whether it be Star Wars or one of these other things, was you would just get a lot of trash that just didn't resonate with people. You even saw this with Star Wars in particular, where you had like feminist YouTubers saying like, it's not good Star Wars and it's not even good feminism. It's like, what does that tell you? It's not even resonating with the people that they would hope for it to resonate with. And part of me wonders if like the ultra woke bubble has finally popped. Like it seems like just everything that is the most woke is becoming so vitriolic, even to people who aren't necessarily in this, this liberty sphere or any other spheres out there online. Like people are now seeing it and being like, wait, what? Wait, you people think what? Wait, that character, huh? Like, it's very polarizing, no other way to put it. So, yeah, that's basically, it makes, I don't want to get too far into it just because, I want to save this for that guest that I have planned. But, it's almost like we're seeing it now with some of these sketch groups, like with SNL. It seems like they just can't compete anymore, specifically with just everything online. Like even venture outside of the the worlds that we know, like there's a lot of sketch groups online who are just doing their job better than them, and it just seems like there's no like passion or effort. I can't really think of anything that from SNL that would survive far into the future as of right now, which is kind of a sad thing to think, but just seems to be the current state of things. So yeah, it's just, with people like Ryan Long, JP Spears, Lou Perez, all those guys constantly just putting out new comedy. It's just like SNL can't get away with doing the same jokes in many instances, which, I love a lot of the old stuff, but that's kind of what a lot of it relied on, was kind of repackaging a joke and retelling it in some way. But when there's people out there constantly doing new things, I just don't think it works. You kind of saw that. You kind of saw a little bit of the degradation, the just complete fall of Saturday Night Live through what was, the Elon Musk episode. There were a lot of people, myself included, who tuned into this thing thinking, man, this isn't going to be the SNL of old, but maybe they'll at least still get a few laughs out of me. Maybe it'll still be good to some extent. What could possibly be so bad about this? And my God, like even Elon Musk and his charm could not make anything that they gave him funny. Like it was just all just painful and cringe. And I'm convinced someone from SNL secretly wants to fuck their cousin and just is confessing it through their sketch comedy. Look up some of the episodes, some of the sketches with Elon Musk from SNL. and there's like cousin fucking jokes. Someone from SNL is trying to confess something. Like they're just like, through my work I will confess my sins or some shit like that. But it's like not just one sketch there's a joke in. I think there's two. And like I quit after Weekend Update. I just couldn't go any further. So, but it's a lot of the things that were to some degree culturally significant back in the day have just, they're getting eroded to the sands of time, and this sort of renegade culture that we're seeing come up. You know, like all those people who I just brought up. I mean, I don't expect to see like Lou Perez or Ryan Long on fucking, I don't know, like Comedy Central anytime soon. And with what we do see kind of in the mainstream realm, this sort of corporate squeaky clean comedy, you're not exactly seeing the most earnest or funny shit. It's just ideology for the most part. And if there is an attempt at humor, it's normally very much so relies on cringe. Like it's not nothing really. You need only go look at the corporate stuff, and then just go look at like Gas Digital or one of these other places that just kind of shows like actual comedy going on. But anyway, well, since here, we might as well see what our buddy Tim has to say. Greatest takeaway thus far: SNL writers are cousin fucking. Fact check. True. It is. It is true. I'm telling you. Go look at, it's the two sketches. The Finnish, what is it? The Icelandic talk show, and what was the other one? The conversations you will have at parties after COVID. Those two sketches with Elon Musk. Those two are the ones where there are cousin fucking jokes in there, and I'm convinced one of the writers is trying to confess something. So I don't know if any of you know the writers from SNL. Just ask them about that. I'm sure there'd be a funny conversation to have. Like what's funny is that jokes in there like, oh haha, this is everyone. It's like, what the fuck? Oh man, gotta love the modern state of corporate comedy. Like, even if you saw like the Joe Rogan Sesame Street ivermectin vaccine thing, on paper that's actually a really funny idea. Like when I first heard that, I was like, oh, that actually sounds like that could be really funny. And yet it's almost like they just went through Rogan's Wikipedia and just grabbed a bunch of facts about him. And it's like, you people have how many writers and how many people on staff? Are you people disconnected from the rest of like everything else out there that you couldn't even think of, like, a few jokes that you could probably make with Joe in there? Like, that's crazy, bro. You ever done DMT? Whoa. Like, I don't know. There's like lots of different things you could make fun of with Rogan, especially with mannerisms, personality, elk meat, hunting. I don't know. Like, I'm already giving them better material than what we got, other than referencing he was on Fear Factor a long time ago. I don't know. It's but you see what I'm saying is like Rogan and a lot of those type of personalities, they kind of exist in this renegade culture area. The Legion of Skanks, same thing. They seem to be pretty polarizing to, they had that feud with the guy from the Goldbergs, the one that recently got accusationed or whatever shit. But, allegedly. But, like a lot of those things, a lot of those personalities, they just exist in this sort of renegade culture sphere. It's almost like podcasting to some degree is starting to replace television. Like at this point, why should I go? Back in the day, I wanted to go to New York and go sit in an episode of SNL. Now I'd much rather go and sit in an episode of Legion of Skanks and probably get harassed. But there's no reason, like, a lot of the stuff that used to at least be funny is now just pure cringe woke. Like, that episode of South Park, smell your own farts shit. And it just amazes me how it's all just, you know, you know, no pun intended, but decayed. Like we've just seen like franchise after franchise get absolutely infected with like the woke virus, which I'm just going to call it that at this point because that's pretty much what it is. And I paid attention to Star Wars because it's actually something I care about. But what's funny is kind of watching these other situations unfold around the internet. I'm not a fan of Doctor Who, but I just seeing the fans' reactions to everything and the way that's been handled, it just makes me realize, like, wow, this is something that seems to be happening with every franchise out there, or anything that corporates can get their hands on. Um, it really is crazy. What we got here from Mr. Crosby, my co. What's the most recent true funny movie show you have seen? The most recent, like, one that's come out? Well, fuck, man. I mean, that's the thing. I've kind of just disconnected from a lot of TV and movies and stuff like that because there just hasn't really been anything good that's made me think like, wow, this is why this is a great platform of art. And it's really disappointing. That's why I'm really hoping that Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool could at least use their sway in this sphere to kind of create some new stuff. Because with how things are right now, it's just, I think of like what were the last great sitcoms that I actually saw. Um, Not ones with like a laugh track, for example. I It's really hard to think of, but first ones I think of are like How I Met Your Mother, or Two and a Half Men when Charlie Sheen was there. But that was kind of like the end of that sitcom era. You notice you don't really see the laugh track as much anymore, except with shows like The Big Bang Theory that are still around. Community was a really good one. That was a show that was definitely ahead of its time. Um, but even show like all these other, like everything else that's kind of come out in the modern day, like I just don't really see anything that's passion has any sort of passion. It's all just like, how would you put it? A lot of the stuff that you see out there today, it's like this nihilistic, like no love kind of put into it. The world's a dark place. Everything is meaningless. Like those seem to be the ongoing themes, and it's no wonder when you see that those are the themes kind of being promoted in most stories and that you see out there today. It's no wonder when those sort of morals and those sort of themes that eventually they start to reflect the real world to some degree, or at least that's my take on it. But as far as like, man, as far as like money, something truly funny, yeah, I'd have to give that to one to Community. So yeah, give it to Community. If you've ever been to a community college, that show is completely accurate. And frankly, if this starts some controversies on the swamp creatures, because I know Rich Perez might disagree with me, or some of the other ones might. You know what? Fuck it. Make this train wreck of a solo episode worth it. I am going to say this, and I will say it again. Community is better than Rick and Morty. The reason I make that comparison, Dan Harmon created both, and frankly, Community is just a far better show. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see if that creates any fun with my co-hosts there. But that's a great show. As far as like comedy goes with like movies, the problem is like a lot of people who used to be talented have either gone woke or just stopped giving a fuck. That's just an observation that I've made. Like, look at Adam Sandler, for example. Absolutely hilarious guy. Some of it made some of the best movies of my youth. 50 First Dates, The Wedding Singer, fucking, what else we got? Little Nicky, Waterboy. Can I pronounce you Chuck and Larry? I think I already said 50 First Dates, but like the dude's made a lot of Happy Madison, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. He's done a lot of great, but a lot of the stuff you've seen last several years is just kind of passionless. Like it seems quite abundantly clear that it's just kind of oh, you son of a bitch. I'll get to that in a second, Tim. But like it seems like just a lot of his stuff now is just downright passionless, and I think that's just sad because he's a really talented guy. On the other hand, you have sort of the Seth Rogen situation where he's become completely ideological, and part of me wonders what the fuck's going on with that guy at that point. But it is what it is. So if you live in a city and you get your car gets broken into, hopefully you get a free gift left behind by the robber. But anyway, I know why you're saying that, Tim. Maybe you're just the old man complaining about the new generation. I know why you're saying that because that's what I said about the whole NFT thing. Because like I have very mixed opinions on that too, but I don't know. A little bit of it is that, but on the other hand, it's kind of me saying, what's why does it have to be like, it's not even a matter of trying something new. It's the manner of going about it. Like, oh, you see this a lot of times nowadays when they try to reboot something and fans just hate it, and they go online just, oh, the bunch of crybabies, man childs, like fucking toxic, sexist, racist, white nationalist. Throw every ist in the book at anyone who might not like something. It's that sort of just unhealthy behavior that it's like I see that and I'm just like, why are you causing unnecessary tension with the people that you want to sell your product to more than anything else? And another thing is just the soullessness of some of the things. Like you see this a lot of times when Hollywood dregs up an old corpse of a franchise in the modern day, just try and milk it for a few bucks. Like it doesn't really feel like there's, a lot of love put into it unless it comes directly from the mind and the soul of a lot of those originally involved to some degree. But I think that's kind of the problem when you have someone trying to live up to another artist's image as well. So I will cut a little bit of slack with that. But yeah, as far as the NFT thing goes, though, I have very mixed opinions. On one hand, the old street artist in me who was into like fucking Banksy and Shepard Fairey and a lot of like that graffiti artist. Like there was kind of like that graffiti street art boom that happened kind of around the 2009 to I want to say 2010 to 2000 and I'll say about like 14 or 15. There was kind of like a street art boom that happened. It seemed like because of Banksy and Exit Through the Gift Shop, Shepard Fairey, a lot of those guys. I kind of came out of that little crowd of like art. Like that was the shit that inspired me. So like when I see the NFT stuff today, like I think back to like some of these like snooty art school assholes who like, kind of scoffed at the idea of street art. And I'm just like, part of me feels for that, just seeing like people in the modern day scoff at their shit. But then on the other hand, I'm just like, you paid how much for a JPEG? like as they were trolling me earlier on the some of our previous shows for buying an NFT, I bought like a $10 one as a joke just because I thought, this will be something to laugh about. Kind of like buying $5 worth of Doge, which I did, and weirdly that actually turned into something. But that's a whole nother conversation. Not financial advice, by the way, any of this. But like from an artist perspective, I kind of look at the NFT thing, and I feel it for those who are just like on the hustle, trying to do who are artists just trying to do shit. But on the other hand, I'm just like people buying that. I'm like, like right click. Like it's very mixed. Don't know how to think on it. I need to get like an NFT art person on here or something. Like the art teacher who got me into street art also got into NFTs. I'm starting to see more and more on his Facebook. So who knows? Maybe we'll try to get him on here or some shit. But I don't know. I'm not completely closed off to the idea, but at the same time, on face value, it looks so ridiculous. So I don't know. What can you say for real? But Yeah, the whole NFT thing, I feel like that's eventually the hype's going to die down. And I think the markets will still remain and everything for the same reason you see people who sell like PNG images or vector images out there online to, people who might need them for graphic arts jobs. But, I don't see it going beyond that. Like a lot of these image things that you see right now, I see that becoming a lot just cheaper, you know, like the cheap, like, for those who've ever worked on graphic design, like you go out online, you can find like vector images or PNGs of just clear images. That's just what I see the extent of this kind of going. I can't really see it going many other places. Gaming, I want to be hopeful for it in that regard, but just knowing the companies that are already doing stuff in it and already kind of catching flack, Ubisoft and EA, like, they're not exactly known for being these free market champion examples of the free market. So, it's honestly downright laughable. But I don't know if this is the case because I'm no expert on the NFT realm of things. Like, yeah, I'm into Ethereum and the decentralized applications built on it, but NFTs have just I never really understood them. But from what I understand, if you actually were to use NFTs in the way that you would want them to, like in a free market sense, look at it this way: if you were to buy a video game on Steam, but then get an Xbox, you would, because it would be verified on the blockchain, you would also have a copy that would be able to digitally download onto the Xbox. Um, that was just something that I had kind of read somewhere on a forum, maybe like Reddit or some shit. I don't know, but probably not Reddit. I haven't been on there in years, but that's kind of I don't know. We'll definitely have to get someone on here to talk about NFTs because that's it's an interesting topic. Oh, Tim, thanks for joining me here, buddy. At least you made it live. Tim, everybody, my favorite swamp creature co-host. Does the culture swing back to normal, or does it continue to get progressively worse? How much Doge are you willing to wager? I'll wager all my Doge, damn it. As far as the culture goes, I don't know. I feel like the guys from South Park, those type of guys think that it's just going to swing back the other way. Um, to some degree, I think it is already, but that's only because people have kind of reached their limit with a lot of this shit. Um, I don't know. I don't. Part of me wonders how could it possibly get worse, but part of me feels like just by saying that, I feel like there's going to be poetic irony if it does. So that's all I can assume. I don't know. I hope it gets better. I want to be white pilled for the future. And the fact that you have people like Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro and shit funding, actually using money to fund things that can affect culture, things like films, TV shows, things like that. I if they can really find something that could be a hit, that could just really kind of smash that ceiling, that's just what they kind of need to show that there's how you don't have to go to Hollywood. You don't have to go to Jeffrey Epstein's friends to get a good movie. There's a lot of talented people out there. And shit, I think that should actually play to our advantage. Us being libertarians in the free market, it only makes sense that we would support, the more renegade independent area of the art world as compared to like this corporate Hollywood schlock. Like, it seems like a lot of the things that you see coming out of Hollywood these days just it's crap. You know, part of me thinks there's a combination of reasons as to why that is. Some people I think are pushing for ideological purposes. Other people, it seems like, are trying to make it appeal to a wider demographic. That way, they can sell films in China as well and other places as well. I think it's just like a lot of conflicting entities and forces that are making it hard because like filmmaking is a collaborative um, it's a collaborative process. You know, you kind of have the key creative mind behind it, but at the same time, there's a lot of other people who are involved in that process that make sure that it comes out to something, you know, great or worthwhile. Just look at Star Wars, for example, the original trilogy. A lot of it was George Lucas and those that he worked with on the studio kind of finding a balance between the two. With the prequels, it was just George. Like they just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. And you kind of got, you know, the films we did, which, you know, aren't exactly great, but, you know, not exactly terrible either. And then, you know, with Disney, they completely cut George out altogether because of the prequels. And then we got the crap that we got. So, you know, there's a lot of moving elements that can make just the big mecca of American film just not that anymore. And in some ways, it's a shame. In other ways, Epstein's friends get what they fucking deserve. So who knows? I think things to some degree will have no choice but to get better. Um, you know, I feel like there's little bits of hope that you see out there every now and then out there, you know. But who knows? Maybe I'm just being delusional. Probably am to some degree. So anyway, a word from our sponsors. Drip cannabinoids. Go check out dripcannabinoids.com. Are you familiar with Delta 8? Well, Delta 8 is no. Well, Delta 8 is a part of the marijuana plant, the hemp that is hemp derived that gets you lifted, gets you high, gets you a good little buzz. So go to dripcannabinoids.com, check out the disposable carts. Got vapes, tinctures, the gummies. Personally, I love the gummies. Those things are the best. They're just phenomenal. But anyways, use code word Mitch at checkout for 10% off your order. And what's nice about this code word? Use it again, because every time you use it, I get my pay. Helps keep this show, keeps life afloat, and you get your 10% off, and everyone wins. So anyway, back to the show. All right, so yeah, those are just some of the things as far as I eventually want to get into talking about this with whoever we get for the state of the culture. So that's why I'm kind of just trying to be a little bit abstract and not get too deep into the trenches on some of this stuff, but at the same time, I just can't help it. So, Tim, just kind of meditating on what you said there too about things getting progressively worse. I think it was Zero Hedge the other day reported that Hollywood's considering a non-binary James Bond or some stupid shit like that. I hope that was just misinformation given to them. Like I love Zero Hedge. They're kind of what Drudge used to be. They are much more renegade than Drudge used to be. Like Drudge used to be to some degree. And I really hope that's just misinformation that someone gave them for the lulz. Like, but then on the other hand, to me, looks at what we just got of a conclusion of a Bond film, which just felt like a mess. And it wasn't it wasn't a woke mess. It felt like there was probably like one writer there who really wanted to write a great conclusion to Craig's Bond film. Those films have always been a mixed bag, but it's like you had one person there who really wanted to make a grand conclusion to this saga that had been going, my generation's James Bond, basically. And then on the other hand, you had another writer there who just wanted to make something ultra woke. So you'd have like this weird concoction of just like scenes that seemed like they fit, and then like scenes where you're like, okay, moving on then. So part of me sees that and just wonders, like, would they be stupid enough to go all in on the wokeness? I would hope not. I really would. Part of me thinks that the whole woke thing has just kind of been used as like a CIA plot, and now eventually they're going to have to figure out how to kind of put the genie back in the bottle, but the question is, can they? So I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah. Well, since the guy who wasn't supposed to join me on here was planning on having a debate about why Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie, I guess I would come on here and say it is a Christmas movie. Because why the hell not? You know, Christmas can use an action movie. You want an action movie to watch around Christmas? Why not go with the one that has a Christmassy theme? You know, why be a Scrooge and say that it ain't a Christmas movie? So, if anyone ever wants to debate that, yeah, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, if only because it's a film that you can enjoy around Christmas that has somewhat of a Christmas aura going on within it. I don't know what else to say other than you say it's not a Christmas movie, you are simply wrong. Thank you, Tim. Tim backing me up on this one. If Gremlins is a Christmas movie, I'll accept Die Hard. Thank you. Thank you. You know what movie to some degree I'll accept as well? Life of Brian. The beginning of the movie takes place on Christmas when Brian's born at the end, right next to Jesus. So you know what? We'll take it. Plus, who doesn't love some Monty Python? And a film that basically describes the inner workings of the Libertarian Party. You know that's kind of one of the. I think John Cleese is the one that you keep on seeing. We keep on seeing in the news recently. It seems like a lot of those Monty Python guys are not. They ain't exactly gelling with the woke stuff either. There's a lot of great comedy minds that it just a lot of this woke stuff isn't gelling with. But if we want to be cynical, Tim Pool brought that up. The less great Tim Pool brought up that point of like, what if they're just kind of like waiting out a lot of these old comedians to just kind of die off so that they can, the only ones who get canceled are the new breed. It's never the okay. Okay, explain that. Life of Brian is the LP. Okay, let's do it. Why not? This is a solo episode, and this episode's a mess anyway. So I'm pretty much just gonna go with whatever the chat wants. So the Libertarian Party is an absolute mess, just like Life of Brian. There are some great, just like the Jewish rebel groups in Life of Brian. There are many great scenes in that film that just highlight the absolute madness is convention and the Libertarian Party trying to get business done. Specifically, one of the funniest points is, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, just go see the movie. But the movie's been out since, I think since like the 70s, so it's old. But it's still a great comedy. And there's this wonderful scene where Brian has been taken by the Romans, and the one girl runs back to the Jewish rebels and is like, "We need to help. Brian has been kidnapped by the Romans." Right, this counts for immediate action. And they immediately go into Robert's rules. Like, right, now up for a debate. Should we take action against the Romans? I say, it just immediately. And the girl has like this outburst, and they just immediately go back to business. Like, it's pretty wacky. But also there's like this great scene where they're going to kidnap Pilate's wife. We were here first. No, we were here first. Oh yeah. Well, brothers, we shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be united against our common enemy, the Judean People's Front. No, the Romans. Like, there's just a lot of I can't explain the jokes because a lot of it is the humor of what is being presented in front of you, and there's a reason why. The only thing I can say is to go check it out. And a lot of the little things, especially with the Jewish rebel groups that you will see, you will realize, oh yeah, that's the Libertarian Party. That's all these little factions who are too busy fighting one another while the state is fucking them over. In this case, in Life of Brian, it's all the different Jewish rebel groups who all hate the Judean People's Front more than the Romans, and yet the Romans are the ones who are like over them and everything like that. So it's a really it really is a brilliant comedy. It's the more philosophical Monty Python film than Holy Grail or any of the other stuff. But no other way for me to say it. There's no one we hate more than the Judean People's Front, and there's no one that the Libertarians hate more than, I don't know, the Mises Caucus. I think that sounds about right. What's up, Josh? Are we the Judean People's Front and the Mises Caucus? Josh, are you there? Oh, damn. At least I'm glad Josh could join us at least here at the end. You're muted, son. We can't hear you. Ah, damn it. Well, it was nice to have Josh here while it lasted. Anyway, give me at least that vaporwave background back. Oh, let's see if we got him again. There he is.
What's up?
Yo, so are we the Judean People's Front, the Mises Caucus? We're talking about life. I was just talking about Life of Brian, so damn it. This is definitely going to be the gas leak episode. Is culture downstream from politics or vice versa? I think it is. I think it's downstream from politics. I don't think that's a bad thing, but
There we go.
All right.
Now I can
hear
you. Yes, now I can hear you. You don't sound like you're like on a really bad acid trip.
So yeah, since I was just talking about Life of Brian before you jumped on here, yeah, you ever seen that movie?
Never in my
Really?
life.
God damn. Well, since I go to watch it, it pretty much sums up the Libertarian Party. But since I got you on here, I might as well ask you the questions that I ask everyone who comes on here.
Go on.
All right. First off, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Favorite conspiracy theory? 100% Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
That I can see that. That's an interesting. You don't think it's Bernie?
I 100%. If it's gonna be any public figure that we're gonna have to roast, it's gotta be Ted Cruz.
I don't know, man. Like, here, 1 second. Let me pull up this picture just to give you an idea.
I'm telling you, I used to have like one that it was a GIF that would shift from like the Zodiac killer's profile picture to Ted Cruz, and I'm just saying, the resemblance is striking.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm trying to get the Bernie Sanders one up here right now because I'm telling you, man, I think it's Bernie.
I'm telling you, it's not Bernie. Bernie wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. I don't see him being a very methodical and slightly narcissistic serial killer. Was he even in California ever? Like, I know he's a communist, but like, has he ever been to California?
Yeah, but have you ever seen the sketches of what the Zodiac killer looked like?
Yes, I've seen the movies they did about the Zodiac killer.
I'm like pulling screen share right now.
Screen share it. I'm telling you, you're gonna see. Just pull me up a shot of Ted Cruz and put them side by side. I'm telling you, I will.
This ain't Ted. I pulled up Bernie first. See? You see that?
Yeah. Nah.
You don't see it. You really don't. Look, here's another one too. Bernie from the side and young Bernie from the side and the Zodiac killer.
I'm not buying it. If I'm not mistaken, even Ted Cruz was in California around those times. He's got to be the Zodiac.
Man, that is I gotta say, that's an interesting first on this show. Is Ted Cruz is the Zodiac killer? So
he's got to be. I'm not taking anybody else's answer. He is the Zodiac killer. That's just a fact.
Okay, well, so then I got to ask you this follow-up question then. What conspiracy would you not be surprised to learn is true? Like, if you were to wake up tomorrow and see it all over Facebook and Twitter, you just would be like, no, that sounds about right. I'm not surprised.
A couple years back, you could have asked me this question. I could have gone on for days. Now, nothing surprises me. We got human hybrid chimeras. chemicals in the water are making the frogs feminine. We got COVID vaccine chip, like micro implant chips. Like nothing is beyond the scope of imagination. You can pick whatever
So
dystopian sci-fi novel you want, and there's probably going to be something out of there that you're going to be like, holy shit, that just happened.
So out of all the crazy theories like Nibiru, flat Earth, I'm trying to think like reptilians. Out of all those like really off the deep end ones, which one would you not be surprised?
J12. The J12, 100%. Like, have you ever
J12.
heard of the J12? Have you ever
No,
heard of
which
the
one's that?
J12?
Refresh. I think I've. What is that one?
Okay. I'm sure like it comes from a bunch of different other like conspiracy theories, and I'm sure this is like an offshoot of one. But the J12 is supposed to be like a group of literally a dozen individuals around the world. These are like your ultra power players. They're not really in politics. They're not really in business. They're like the George Soroses of the world. Like I think he's one of the J12 members of the J12. And these are the people who actually run the world. Everything that goes on in the world, every conflict, every conspiracy, every false flag, black op, it doesn't happen unless they greenlight it. Basically, every event that you see that comes about that becomes anything of any newsworthy like action, that was all either greenlit or approved by the J12.
So I assume you're familiar with like Bilderberg and stuff like that too.
Not really. Like I've heard of it, but like I've never really deep like dived into it the same way the J12 is. Your
Yeah.
guest is uncultured. Yeah, okay, Tim.
Hey, at least you made it on here before Tim did. But
Right?
no, I mean the between the build, I feel like there's a lot of different vying for power groups because like the Bilderberg one, that's where they have a lot of news media, very influential people from like corporations and heads of state all get together in that one place in Europe and basically, have their meetings.
Oh,
Um,
Davos?
no, Davos, that's a different one. That
Okay.
Davos group
I
is
was about
a.
to say
There's a lot of different things going on. That's the Great Reset, Davos, Davos, however you
Bohemian
say it.
Garden.
Oh, the Bohemian Grove.
Uh-huh.
Oh, dude,
Like
that
there
grove
that
is.
it's real. It's
Yeah, it's real.
absolutely real.
Oh yeah.
Like like that's the thing. There's many like weird secret societies and fraternal groups and shit all around the world that are, you know, have all these influential power players that it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like if I woke up tomorrow and you told me some kind of conspiracy theory was true, I'd probably believe it. Maybe like the only thing I can't really buy into is flat earth, but like outside of that, like nothing really like surprises me too much. I'm not like, holy shit, that
So
sounds stupid.
so Duke didn't really get my answer on. So you're with me then with the reptilians.
What, the reptile people run the world? Of course.
Why the hell not? After
Yeah,
this past year, sounds about right.
like I've been saying that for years that it's the lizard people run the world. Like Mark Zuckerberg, like I'll talk about this with random strangers. I think Mark Zuckerberg is part of the lizard people. Everybody asks me why. I'm like, who put Sweet Baby Ray's on their fucking bookshelf? Well, what if it was just as an inside joke? I'm like, who leaves it on there for a live stream? Like, how dumb
Wait,
is
what,
that? And if
what are you talking about? Sweet Baby Ray's.
you don't remember when Zucker Dick announced that he was changing all the fucking groups under Facebook to Meta, when he gave the announcement, it was supposedly a live stream from like his living room. And on one of the bookshelves, there was a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's, just like being used as like a book stop.
I'm pulling this up right now because I need to look. I need to look.
I'm uncultured. What kind of swine are you not knowing about the Sweet Baby Ray's Zuckerberg
I missed
incident?
this. Okay, God.
You miss so much, man.
I
Where are
didn't call
you
you
at?
uncultured. Tim did.
I know, but you're going to take the brunt of this because you're the host of this show. You allowed this to happen.
Ugh, getting owned by the state chair. All right. Holy shit. Huh.
There's a bottle of what? Who puts Sweet Baby Ray's on their bookshelf, bro? Who does that? No one. No one except the reptilians and lizard people. Look at him. He looks like a goddamn lizard person. Like that. Like he looks like what would it like
His
if we
lip.
had
It's
a
the
live.
upper lip. Look at that upper lip.
Bro, if we had a live action version of like Invader Zim, that would be Zim in his human costume.
Yeah,
Dead
sounds
ass.
about right.
Like if this was a live action Invader Zim, Mark Zuckerberg would definitely be Zim in his human costume. Like you're not like it's obvious you're not a real human being, but yet you parade as one.
I just want to say Netflix has no standards. I think we should go pitch this idea to them.
Yeah, but the problem is we'll get on there for like a month and they'll cancel us, and then we don't make any money. So fuck them.
Yeah,
we're gonna spend.
I mean, can we hoard the show? Can we take the show somewhere else? Like maybe like shop around to Hulu or something? Like.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, YouTube pays, I heard, but not well.
Yeah, YouTube TV basically pays nothing.
No, not at all.
Same goes with Pluto TV and all those other ones.
Pays more than LP TV. That's all I know.
There's an LP TV?
There's a YouTube channel they call LP TV. It's kind of all right. They got Martha Bueno on there sometimes doing her like, Latin libertarian podcast thing, and they do a lot of stuff with like the app. I think there's like a regular monthly thing where all the at-larges for like the LNC get on there, but like a lot of times it's like, somebody made a good point was like the night they had like an at-large discussion on like the LNC, Josh Smith was doing like a group show with like I think him, Top Lobster, Fat Dave, and Clint Russell from Liberty Lock Pod, and like you had almost like 150 people waiting for Josh's show to start 15 minutes out from start, and this thing on LPTV's going live, and they got I think it was like 5 viewers at the time. Like it just shows you, once again the power of media and content, like creating content so important. So I mean, yeah, we can put this show or whatever show on wherever we want, but like I said, you got to create content.
I mean, that's basically it. Is what Tim was talking about there in the chat some time ago is culture is downstream from politics, and we kind of need to manifest that culture. Like that's the weird thing is I remember there was such a strong cultural aura around the Ron Paul revolution back in the day. Like there was such like a cultural presence to it, and it's just none of that exists with the LP. Or if the LP got handed it, they kind of pushed it away a few times.
Okay, so there's something I've been talking a lot about recently, and just this kind of like a background in this. I sat on recently like a conference call or like almost like a candidates meeting with Larry Sharp, and he was teaching about like how to groom professional candidates. And one of the things he was talking about is one of the strongest things you can do for candidates is have interesting, exciting people run for office. And the same applies to, culture. We have a lot of really interesting, exciting people out there. And when they produce content, it affects the culture. You have a bunch of people who, in most cases, you have cord cutters. People don't watch cable anymore. It's boomers and the golden agers and Gen Xers who all watch cable. Millennials, Zoomers, Gen Zers, Gen Yers, they don't watch fucking cable. All of them have cut the cord. It's streaming services. It's podcasts now. So it's always why I love when I hear like the older folks going, oh, well, we can't be running podcasters as candidates, and why like we can't be doing all this shit post. First off, nobody cares about social media. It's not real life. Second off, this is media now. What we're doing here, we're creating content. This is media. This could be news to some people. This is entertainment to other people. Fuck watching a sitcom. People want to sit there and see real people talking about real things in real life.
Well, I don't think that sort of stuff is lost upon the culture. I think it's just a matter of people just want stuff that's good and something that they can connect to. And as you just said there, shit that relates to them in their real life. And I think that's why a lot of that vulgar comedy that you see with like the Legion of Skanks and a lot of those other guys, it goes as well as it does because it reminds people of the comedy that they probably do when bullshitting with friends.
It's also too is I mean, you're a little younger than me, man, but like I grew up huge on stand-up comedy as a kid. Like, my mom, like I remember being a little kid and my mom was having me sit down. I was watching old like 80s, 70s, early 90s before I was old enough to understand what I was watching, like specials with like George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. I was watching, like I was like 10, 11 years old watching Andrew Dice Clay like stand-up comedy specials. Like shit, like, and you look at people who are doing comedy now and it's safe comedy. Like I remember like watching a comedy special and like you have Ralphie May and I remember he dropped the M bomb. I was like, holy shit. Like, and it was like early 2000s. Nobody blinked. Imagine if Ralphie May was still alive and did the same thing. First time
Oh,
people
he'd be
would
done.
notice it. He'd be done. He'd
Yeah.
be done. Jokes that Richard Pryor make, people are like, oh my God, that's so offensive. I remember Bill Cosby talking about like slapping a child. Like, you don't talk about that shit. Beating, like Richard Pryor talking about whooping your kid's ass. You don't talk about that shit anymore. So I mean, you're right. People love that vulgar comedy because it's what they grew up on. You don't have that anymore. You don't have that with a lot of entertainment. People are afraid to take risks.
Well, that's where I think, kind of this renegade space that we're in, I think that's where a lot of the risks are happening now. Like Disney, for example, they're just going to keep on milking the Marvel formula. A lot of these Comedy Central and whatnot, they're just going to stick with the squeaky clean, cookie cutter comedy kind of thing. A lot of
It's
like
so
the
sad.
real innovative stuff is going to be happening on the smaller scale.
Oh yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not just comedy, it's entertainment too. Like once again, I'm a little bit older than you, but like I grew up on the Man Show. You know, Adam Carolla and somehow Jimmy Kimmel back in the heyday. Girls jumping on trampolines, the juggy dancers, like shit that would never fly on even cable TV, even after 10
No,
nowadays. Like I'm talking the OG original Adam Carolla, Jimmy Kimmel Band Show for people
not
who
not
remember.
Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope.
No, I'm talking the OG, like Adam Carolla going to like a dildo factory and getting a mold of his dick made and bringing it out. Like that's the type of like exactly. It's humor that like okay, it's raunchy, it's tacky, it's tasteless, but it's still funny. It's that stuff like it's why Eminem was so big back in the day because he was saying things that was just completely offensive. But people are like, I can laugh at this. And, like you said, it's people shit are saying, in their homes to their friends, where they feel safe in their space to make those jokes.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel had a terrible accident on his soy farm. Oh, we going for the deep shots tonight, heard.
If we want to create, I always keep on saying that I want to create a conspiracy theory just for the hell of it, like something ridiculous that we could just like look at and be like, that's our conspiracy theory. We created that. You think Jimmy Kimmel got replaced with a robot?
Nah,
Or maybe,
Gucci
or
Mane.
maybe, or
The only
or
clone out there is Gucci Mane.
you think Gucci Mane's a clone?
Oh, that's another conspiracy theory. I'm
Really?
100% in on that. Gucci. Yes, I truly believe that when Gucci went into the pen, that Gucci was replaced by a Gucci clone, and that the government and the feds made Gucci, the real Gucci Mane, right for Gucci clone. And that's the reason that all of Gucci Mane's shit since coming out of prison have been straight butt cheeks is because Gucci clone isn't good at rap. He doesn't know how to write. So, and Gucci's just kind of trying to tell people, like, hey, this guy isn't me. Like, you should know I don't rap like
Is there
this. And you're,
anything hidden within the music, like if you play something backwards?
I don't know, but like, just, I've been listening to Gucci Mane since like 2008, 2007. I got put on the Gucci Mane. So, like, to hear or OG Gucci Mane and hear Gucci Mane now, it's not the same. It's a clone. 100%. He's being forced to write by the feds. He's being locked up in Guantanamo or something. Like, I just wish he would send out a stronger signal to anybody in the game and let us know, like, Give us a signal. Let us know you're okay and where you're at so we can come save you, Gooch.
Like just some kind of like play this track backwards kind of thing. I think that would
Yeah,
probably.
absolutely. Like if there was something out there, I need to know. Like I need to know for
I'm
my
sure.
own peace of mind.
I'm sure you're familiar with the whole Stairway to Heaven playing that backwards, right?
Dude, there was another one too. I think it was like a Black Sabbath song that if you play it backwards, it would do that too. Like there's all
There's
kinds of ones.
Oh, there's a bunch. Some bands have fun. I think it was Pink Floyd, where there's a Pink Floyd song where if you play it backwards, it'll say, "Congratulations, you found the hidden message."
I was gonna say, I know there's a couple artists who have like taken advantage of that and like used that in like hooks or choruses and been like, if you literally play the track backwards, it was the last line forward.
I mean, that's there's a lot of that there's a lot of brilliance that goes into doing that sort of stuff. But anyway, we're coming up on the hour here, so thinking I might just wrap things up since this show didn't exactly go to plan.
Sorry I couldn't be on sooner, my man.
You're good, buddy. This is we will definitely be evaluating Tyler's contract, and
Ooh, yeah, I don't know if I would re-up him again after that, man.
yeah, and this is you see, a corporation is a bit like a centipede, and when there's one leg that just doesn't work.
Oh, so what you're saying is you're gonna make Tyler the part of the human centipede, Mitch? That's harsh, bud. That's
sometimes you
harsh.
gotta do what you gotta do. I also have
I mean,
schematics for a human crab.
you know what? We'll talk about this offline. I'm not sure if we want to put this out for the world
the
to know
human
publicly.
crab? I got the idea from YouTube.
This is already starting off a really bad idea, man. This sounds like half of Jackass.
What, the human crab?
Yeah, like, hey, I got this idea online.
What? No, it's just instead of sewing someone, ass to mouth, you sew them ass to ass. Human crab.
So they just poop into each other? Where does the poop go?
Listen, don't think that hard about this. It's human crab.
No, I'm thinking that hard. We're going down autism holes now. Like, where does the poop go, Mitch? You're just going to sew them butt to butt? Like, what the fuck, dude? Are they going to poop out their dick now?
I'm thinking like Dr. Mephisto from South Park. Like, what are you talking about? It's a guy sewed ass to ass. Human crab. Trademark.
This is the worst. See, this is why I wanted to talk about it offline. This is the worst idea ever, Mitch. This has to go up there with like the COVID vaccine. Is worst idea ever.
What? The human centipede would be a better one?
Yes. At least we know where the poop goes.
At least maybe this is like a cat.
Recycled.
You've seen the movie Cat. You've seen the show Cat Dog, right?
Yeah.
They found a way to make it work.
I still have a lot of questions about that one too.
Cat Dog?
Where do they poop?
We got to ask a Nickelodeon. The other one vomits it. Okay, yeah, there we go, Tim. Let's go with that one. There we go. Human crab.
So who eats then? Do they both vomit at the same time?
Maybe it's like both sides. Both sides still eat. It's just the other side is going to be the one eventually, shitting it out.
So what you're saying is they're going to eat. It's going to process, move through each other's bodies for a double process, and then vomit out. This sounds retarded. This sounds like the stupidest shit I've heard in fucking forever.
But I don't know. Maybe if we could find some people who want to become a human crab, we could test this out and see how it goes.
No, we're not going to test this out. This is stupid. This is a bad idea. This goes right up there. This goes in my book of like horrible ideas I've heard in my life. Mitch is the human crab.
How high up on the list?
You know, we're gonna have to debate. I have to go to the list and see if there's any things I've forgotten about that may need to go above this. But you're topping out pretty high on the list of stupid shit.
I mean, come on. There's got to be some things that are higher up on this.
You know, if I could think of them right now, I'd probably be telling you what they were, but I can't. This is pretty fucking stupid, man. This actually has filled my brain with so much fuck. I don't think I can alleviate for a little bit.
Well, that's one way.
I'm a whole Jackie Chan meme now.
Oh man. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to drop the human crab video into the Discord just to see what you have to say about this now.
The only crabs I want are the dancing crabs.
The dancing crabs, the raving crabs.
Hell yeah, rave on the beach crabs. That's the only crabs I want to hear about. Human crab, no. Rave crab, yeah.
You're gonna see the thing of the human crab. There's no escaping this, Josh. All right. Anyway, you want to plug anything before I end this one?
Other than your human crab idea is hot dog shit, no, I have nothing to plug here tonight. Don't do the human crab, boys and girls. It's a horrible idea. You don't even know where the poop goes. Who knows where the poop goes? This is a mystery that is unsolved and is unnecessary to evaluate and investigate further.
I beg to differ. I would much rather be a part of a human crab than be the middle of a human centipede.
I don't want to vomit somebody else's poop. You're basically like South Park. You're shoving food up your ass and you're gonna spit up a turd.
You know, it's funny. That was actually the logic I was thinking of.
Good job, Cartman.
All right. Anyway, go follow me on Twitter at MitchConnorJLo. Go check out the Libertarian Frontier on South. Bring up South Park and the JLo thing. Go check out the Libertarian Frontier on TeePublic. Gonna be having some new merch coming out soon, and got something in the work for the Mises Caucus. So stay tuned through their channels.
I'm excited.
I'll show you.
I'm excited.
Oh boy, Josh, because you saved the day, when we get off here, I will show you the first design that I came up with.
I already seen it.
You seen it?
You forget I'm in.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're in that place that is sworn to secrecy.
I'm in Minecraft with you.
Minecraft, yes, Minecraft. Yes.
We were playing Fortnite, remember?
Yes, Fortnite with Minecraft, of course.
Yep, you showed me in Minecraft this thing, and it was really fucking cool, and I'm really excited. But y'all are gonna be fucked because you're gonna have to wait because y'all are some ungrateful bastards.
All right. Well, that seems like a good cliffhanger to leave it on. You are.